Still tired? Unable to get your mind off things in a forever whirlwind of agony? Need something to calm the nerves? Well, look no further with FrameGame, starring your host Spencer Green in Castle Crashers.
Do people have pet giraffes? Is that a thing? I know people have like pet leopards and lions and stuff.
That's very rare though that they have that. Pet giraffe.
Oh, I
gosh.
brought you back and you instantly died.
Yeah, this part's one of the hardest parts in the game. These guys are just, oh my gosh. Because this is the part where they're constantly using their magic.
Yes, get us. Oh no.
Ah!
Yes,
I wish I had more upgrades on speed! Well, there goes my second to last potion.
Right when you revived me, I got hit and I have like 1 health left. Oh, there we go.
Ah, more fire guys. I hate them, I hate them.
I died.
What? No, not again!
Oh, Greg, get out of there! Save James! Nice.
Oh my gosh, did you see that?
Yeah, they all slaughtered you at once.
That,
Holy crap!
so that time I jumped over to you, Spencer, it brought me all the way from like half health down to having only like 1 hit point left after using a potion already.
Jeez.
Like just in that moment that I was trapped and couldn't get away for a second.
I really should.
Do it.
Fine.
Hell. Oh my gosh, guys.
Can we get better
This is-
weapons?
So hard. We should get better weapons. So also I found something out that's kind of different. So you know that part where there's the vines we climbed up in one of the previous levels? And I kind of walked to the side to see if there's like a cave there, and I was like, just walked up to it, and you were like, is there anything there? And I was like, no, it doesn't look like it.
There's something there.
I completely forgot. There totally is something there. That boulder is actually something you can break, and there's a little cave with the... That's where the burly bear is.
Oh man. That's what I need. Probably. Burninating the countryside. Burninating the peasants. Ow! Ow! That went well. Oh! Oh gosh dang it, help! Ah, not
Sorry,
again.
I'm not gonna get myself killed trying to save you like you did.
It totally would have worked if you weren't in between 2 of them.
Regardless, I'm not trying it. Either way.
I'll just commentate and spectate.
Oh no.
Coming in on the 3rd line, it's Skeletron! Or are you,
What?
Are you Skeletor? Are you Skeletor? James is Skeletor. It's canon now.
No, stop saying things are canon. I don't think that what means what you think it means.
That means it's official! This game made Skeletor be killed, guys in purple. With the cane.
That pretty much sounds like something Skeletor would do, actually. No, just kidding.
Die, fool. Cane to the head.
They cannot stop me. There's actually a really fun toy documentary on Netflix that we watched some of, and they were talking about He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. So apparently they were trying to compete with like all the Star Wars toys. It was this, you know, the company was trying to come up with an idea like what can compete with all these Star Wars toys. And eventually they came up, one of the guys had been drawing this character for years that was like this muscular guy. Dang it. And they ended up creating He-Man.
Oh.
And So they created He-Man as a toy, and then they went to the board meeting to like talk to one of their distributors, their second largest distributor. Their largest was Toys R Us, and it was like Toy World or something. And the Toy World distributors were like, yeah, like this toy looks great, but how, like, what's the hook? How are we going to get kids to buy it? Because Star Wars characters, they've seen the movies, so they know the characters' stories.
Mhm.
So what are we going, like, what's the motivation to buy this instead? And then just out of nowhere, the guy presenting was like, so it was him being interviewed, and he was basically just like, when they said that, I was like, what am I going to do? And just in the moment, he was like, didn't we tell you? Each one is going to come with a little comic book that, like, explains, part of their story. Like, he just made it up on the spot.
I mean,
And
that's
so,
not a bad idea, to be fair. That's pretty cool.
And so they made a comic book. And so next week they had their presentation for their largest distributor, Toys R Us, right?
Yeah.
And they go to the board reading, and he comes in with this little comic book, so he can say, "Hey, look, see, like this, it comes with this comic book," so that way they can learn a little bit about the character, so they become more attached. And this time, the Toys R Us representative was like, "Yeah, that's great, I like it, but like, isn't this being packaged for 5-year-olds and up? Like, 5-year-olds aren't gonna want to read a comic book." And he was like, didn't I tell you? We're also having a 2-part special mini TV series for it.
Oh my goodness, this guy.
And he just makes that up on the spot. So then they scramble, calling their, like, the animation company they use, Funimation or whatever it was, and tell them, like, hey, we need you to whip up, like, a 2-part special for this toy line, He-Man, and they hadn't come up with the name Masters of the Universe yet.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, during this time is also when they came up with that. And they're like, so we need you to create this. And they didn't even expect to make any money off of the TV series. They were just expecting it to be a 2-parter at first, like, not a full series.
Yeah, mostly just to sell the toy and...
Yeah, exactly. And they were basically hoping to just get their money back, if that, like, from the TV series. And then that would just be their way of helping sell the toys, right? But he totally just made up that whole idea just on the spot, just because they were like...
digging your own grave, but then somehow pulling it off.
But
like...
it all worked out for him.
Dig your own grave and you dig up a treasure chest?
Exactly, you're digging your own grave and you dig up a treasure chest. Like, he just made up both the comic book and that, like, just on the spot, just pull it out of his butt. Just, oh, didn't I tell you we were doing this? And then they all had to, like, scramble to make it happen. And so one of the other guys being interviewed was like, I remember we were in that meeting and he suddenly started opening his mouth after they said, like, kids have seen, they're only 5 years old, like, they're not going to want to read. And I remember thinking, oh no, what now? But yeah, so the first time they watched He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, the little cartoon, they watched, like, the demo thing that the animation company gave to them, and they were basically, like, super surprised. Like, the moment they saw it, they were just like, man, like, this is gonna be a hit. Like, we're actually gonna make money off the TV series,
Mm-hmm.
And within a few years, He-Man between the toys and the TV series became like a $7 million
Jeez.
a year business.
I mean, I'm not surprised. He-Man was pretty good, and
then so the weirdest
they even
thing
made the sequel or whatever, She-Ra, right?
So
Is this
that's
true?
actually funny. So basically the female department of this toy company, like, just wanted in on the action because they were now, all their Barbies and stuff were being outsold because they're the same company that makes Barbie by He-Man. Like, they were being shown up by the boys' toy, which usually didn't happen, right? The action figures were outselling them. So they basically just wanted to make a girl version so that they could get girls buying some, just take a piece of that pie.
So
And
it
no
was
one knows
all
for
just
sure.
marketing. All of He-Man was pure marketing.
Oh yeah, that's all it was. And it started the trend for, like, toys having their own TV show. And after that, a bunch of other toy TV-based TV shows all came out.
Like G.I. Joe.
Yep. But yeah, he just like made that up, and I thought that was just hilarious and awesome.
I mean, man, when you're on the spot like that,
Dang
you
it.
know, and you're expected
I did
to
it again,
sell something.
Spencer.
What?
Hey, come back.
Oh no!
Get back my beholder.
I need that bird, Craig. I haven't unlocked them yet.
There you go.
Get me. Didn't say anything, but I guess I got him.
Hopefully.
For a second there, I was like, oh, now I have no pet. I was just really close to the edge of the screen.
But yeah, so it was funny because He-Man went all the way up to being like a $7 million entity, right?
Mm-hmm.
To suddenly just in 1 year dropping, just plummeting to where it was less than $1 million. Like, to like nothing. Like they weren't making anything off of it anymore. And a lot of, in the interviews they were talking about, like they don't know exactly what did it, but the guy was saying that he blamed She-Ra because it was shortly after that, and he thinks that basically, you know, the women just wanted, you know, a toy like He-Man that, you know, girls would want to buy, and it worked. Like a lot of girls bought She-Ra and stuff, and she was like woman empowering and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
But he said that like he felt like that demasculated He-Man, because then it was like, you know, the whole idea, the reason why they created him and the tagline of "I have the power" is because during the time, like a lot of, you know, young boys would feel powerless because parents always telling them what to do and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they came up with that tagline. It's like, "I have the power," and they felt like now his sister could be like, "I also have the power," and he felt like that demasculated it. So boys didn't want He-Man toys anymore.
Oh, because then they were like,
That was
well,
his
now
theory.
more than one person can have power, and thus I'm
well,
weak again.
Now my sister can have the power too, you know? Like,
Mm-hmm.
so what magical powers do you think the
Everybody's
midget?
special and nobody is.
Exactly.
Man, now I want to watch that movie.
What
That's a
movie is
good
that?
movie.
Is that an X-Men movie? I don't think that
No.
is. It sounds very familiar.
It's the best Fantastic Four movie. Oh wait.
Oh, was that from
That's the
Fantastic?
best Fantastic Four movie.
That's my favorite joke from one of the Honest trailers. Like, come on! It's at the end of one of the Fantastic Four movie Honest trailers. He's like, come on! It's not hard to make a good Fantastic Four movie. It's called The Incredibles, and it's perfect.
Did you hear? They're making an Incredibles 2,
Of course,
and it's
I
coming
heard.
out this year.
Fine.
Oh, I'm excited. That's a really good movie. I love The Incredibles.
I know, they made like 3 sequels of Cars in the meantime,
Yeah, no kidding. Why?
taking place of the one entity that I really felt like could use a sequel and could still be a lot of fun, and they're like, no, we're just gonna make a million cars instead. You know, the one that really felt said and done, you know, had a nice resolution to it.